Hi everyone, so today we're going to be making this cute little baby Yoda. As you can see, it's got its little ears at the side here, we've got its eyes, it's sitting in a sack, and we have connected a keychain to the top of its head here. So it's a cute little gift that you can give to one of your friends, or make for yourself. Just for noting, this is not my own pattern, it is a pattern found from Pinterest. So if you want to have a look at the pattern, please see the link below in this YouTube channel. Okay, to start off, I use a 1.9mm hook, as you can see it here. You also use these 0.6 or 6mm, actually, 6mm eyes, as you can see here, with their respective washes from behind. And you can also purchase these off Shopee or on another online store. I'll also be using this beige 4-ply cotton yarn, as you can see here, and this lighter green yarn here, 4-ply as well. And later on I'll also need a needle so that I can do some sewing of the ears to the head. As you can see, for example, these I haven't yet sewn on the ears, but everything from this basket here all the way to the top of the head is continuous, and then you just attach the ears here. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to start off with my beige yarn, and I'm going to chain 14. So the first thing that I want to do is wrap it on my fourth finger, across to my second, and grab it at this point here, leaving a little bit of excess. Then I'm going to loop it as so. So I've just got a little loop here, and I'm holding it with my left hand. I'll insert my hook now through this loop. I'll grab the yarn, pull it through, and pull the excess string at the end here. So now I have my knot, as you can see, in preparation for the chain. Now what I want to do is chain 16. So here's my first one, pulling the loop through. So that's one chain, and I'll continue on up to 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there we go. We've got 16 chains now. And now the next thing that I'm going to be doing is starting in the second chain from the hook. So here's the hook here, and I'm starting right here, as you can see. So in this loop here, not in this first one, but this second one right here. And I'm going to be chaining 14 single crochets all the way down here. So let's do this now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And now I'm going to, in this last chain here, I'm going to increase. So that means 2 single crochets in the same hole. So that's my first, and this is my second. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is continue all the way around on the back end of the chain. So because I entered here for my increase, I want to start now here to continue onwards, as you can see here. So remember, it's not in the loop section here, which was my last chain, but now I'm going to be starting here. So I'll chain another 14 single crochets. So here's the first one, my second one here, and as you can see, this excess piece here, I'm just keeping it at the back so that it kind of ties in. That way I don't need to needle it in later or thread it in later. This is number 3. 4. As you can see, I'm finding this section here. 5, 6. I can leave this excess now because I've also threaded that in a few times. This is number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and this is my last one right here. As you can see, there we go. This is number 14. So now I have chained 14 on the opposite end. Right now what I'm going to do is slip stitch into this single crochet stitch here. So I'm going to go under 2 of these, 1, 2, and then I'm going to grab the loop and pull it through as so. So that's my first round. Now with the second round, I'm going to be single crocheting all the way around. So that should end up being 30 stitches. So I'll chain 1 and I'll go back in that same loop here and do my first single crochet. Now what you can do as well is you can put a little marker here so that it's easy to find as you go all the way around. So this is my first one. I'm just going to count to 30, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, last one now, 30. And after the last one, we are going to do a slip stitch right in our first single crochet of the second round, which appeared right here. So sometimes it's helpful to have a marker because as you can see, these two things here, you may accidentally consider that as a first single crochet. So I'm going to enter into this first single crochet where I should, or you should, put a marker, and I'm going to slip stitch. So that's pulling your yarn through those two ends. So that is my second round now. Rounds 3 to 5, you want to continue doing single crochets in every chain. So that's 30 single crochets all the way around up until round 5, or including round 5 as well. So let's do that together and then we'll get to round 6. Okay, so on round 5, we're just about to complete it now. So we've finished the 30th stitch here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. And now we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch. There we go. And now we're going to start round 6. And here what we're going to do is after every 8 single crochets, we are going to decrease. So let's do that now. So chain 1. Let's put it in the first single crochet, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8. And now we will decrease. So how I like to decrease is I only go through the front loop. So I'll show you 2 ways to decrease. The first is I go through the front loop and then bring in my yarn, and then I'll go through the second front loop and pull my yarn as well. So now I've got 3 loops on my book, and what I'll do is I'll pull the yarn through all of those. So that's how I decrease. So that's the first way that I can decrease. Another way that you can decrease is by going straight into those front loops. So you've got 1, and then you go directly into the second 2. You'll pull through those 2 loops there, and then you'll pull another one here. So there we go. So those are the 2 ways that you can decrease, up to you. And now we're going to repeat 8 single crochets and then decrease all the way around until we finish our round 6. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and decrease. 1 loop, 2 loops, pull through and pull through. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and decrease. Pull through 1. Sorry, go through 1, go through the second, front loops only, pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through again. There we have it. So that is round 6 complete. Now for round 7, what we're going to do here, actually it's 7, 8, and 9. So those rounds we're going to just go single crochet all the way around. So that's not too difficult here. So we chain 1 and single crochet all the way around. So I think we should have 24 stitches all the way around, so you can count those or just know where you have to do your slip stitch here. Okay, this is the end of round 9, and we're going to slip stitch right here. Now, on round 10, we're not going to continue with the beige yarn, but we are also going to leave it be, so we're not going to cut it at this moment. So what I'll do is I'll grab this green, lime green yarn here, and I'll grab the end of it. So I'll just find the tail now. Here it is. And what I will do is in round 10, I'm going to crochet in only the back loop, and after every 7 single crochets I'm going to decrease as well. So here is my first loop, and you might want to pull this beige yarn as you do that, and then I will also incorporate this excess piece right here into my single crochets. That way it's like I'm tying it into it or stitching it into it. So here's my first one, and I'm keeping that green yarn right in here underneath my hook here. I'll grab the green yarn, and this will be my first single crochet, and I'll do that in the back loop of all the others up until number 7, keeping the green yarn tail here so that I can pull my yarn through and pull it through. So that's number 2. Here's number 3, back loop only, 3, number 4, 5, 5 here, and number 6, last one, number 7, and I think that's enough to incorporate this piece here, so I'll leave that out now. And for the next part I'm going to decrease. So remember, I've just done 7 single crochets all the way across here, and then on my 8th and 9th I'm going to decrease. So sorry, I should say I'm going to decrease now. So I'm just going to put it through my back loop only, pull through 1, and the reason why I want to pull through 1 here is because it's a little bit difficult to put my hook in both of those back loops. So I'll pull through 1 first, then I'll go to the second, pull through this, and then pull yarn all the way through. And now I'll repeat this process all the way until my end of round 10. So here is number 1, single crochet, number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, and decrease. Last one, number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and decrease right here. And I will slip stitch that into the first single crochet, and I've gone through 2 of those loops there. So there we go. Now I'm going to leave this be just for the moment, so I'll just chain an extra and pull it through, and I'm going to go back to this beige yarn here, and I'll pull that through, and then as you can see, these front loops have been left behind. And I'm going to insert my hook into this first front loop here, which was the first chain of my green, and then I'm going to pull down the beige yarn, chain 1, go into the same loop, pull through the yarn, and do a single crochet. So there's my first single crochet there, and now I'm just going to do single crochets all the way across. So that should be, I think, 24. 3, 4, 5, 'There we go. Okay, so after your 27 single crochets all the way across, as you can see, you've got the inner green and then you've got an outer beige color here. And now I'm just going to weave in my yarn here, or pull it through, I should say. Leave a little tail so that I can weave it in, but not too long. And with a cutter, I'm just going to cut it like so. There we go. Take out our yarn and tighten this loose end here. So there we go. Now we can continue with the green crochet. So this is our round 10. So rounds 11 to 13 are just going to be single crochets all the way around. So here we go. You can see there's a little bit of beige yarn here, but that's fine. We can just work under it. So we're just going to go in here like so. This will be number 1. Once I get it, let's try it again. Oh, there we go. So this is our first single crochet, second, third, and so on, completing rounds 11 to 13. So we'll do that now. Okay, and this is our last stitch of our round 13, and now we'll just do a slip stitch here, so 1 and pull through. And on round 14 we are going to chain 1, single crochet 1, and then decrease. So I'm going to put my hook through 2 loops, pull my yarn through those 2, and pull it again. So now I've just decreased, and now I'm going to single crochet twice before decreasing, and after I've done that, now I will decrease again, pull through those 2 like so, and after every 2 single crochets all the way around, I will decrease. So 1, 2, decrease, and then 1, 2, decrease, 1, single crochet, 2, and decrease, 1, 2, decrease, and we should be left with 1 final single crochet at the end here before the slip stitch here, and that is round 14. Alright, we're going to leave this just for now, and we're going to insert the eyes. Now, don't worry, if you don't have eyes, you can probably sew these in, but if you do have these 6mm eyes here, it is a great idea to use that. We also use these washes at the end as well. So here's one of the washes, looks like that, and then I'll just grab another one now. Here we go. So I've got 2 washes now, and I'm going to insert my eyes, usually 4 stitches apart, and you just try and locate the center position. So I might, for example, start one eye either here or here. Yeah, so I'm going to put one eye here and here, and I do that between rows 12 and 13. So I'm going to go in here between rows 12 and 13 and push that in there, and then 4 stitches apart, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's where I'll insert my next one. I can go here if it doesn't look like it's a good width apart, so I'm going to try actually and go 5 stitches apart with 4 stitches between 1, 2, 3, 4, and that looks very good there. So as you can see, that is my Yoda with his baby eyes. And now with these washes, I'm going to stick them into the back. Now, I've seen some people stick them on like that. I've also seen people stick them on like that. If I push it through that side, I kind of get this imprint over here, so I like to go from behind. So as you can see, I'm just going to use this side, and I'm going to push it in here and push it all the way down as tightly as possible. There we go. And then the same with this one. Oh, here we go, and just push that on. So now these eyes are very secure. Alright, I can continue with my green yarn now. This is round 15, and with round 15 what we want to do is we want to single crochet first. So I've chained 1 just now. I'm going to single crochet 1 and then decrease, and you're going to do that all the way around that same pattern. Crochet 1, single crochet once, and then decrease all the way around. Now it's up to you where you want to put in your stuffing, so you can do it before you start this round or after you start this round. It's up to you. I have no preference actually, so I'm just going to complete this round now. Remember, 1 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around for round 15. And here's my last decrease here now. So I'm going to decrease and then slip stitch. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly chain 1 here. And then what I like to use is this type of cotton. You can use excess yarn if you have it, but this is very good. You can get this from Inside a Pillow or purchase it online, up to you. So I'll just put in a little bit at a time, so I'll just pull little bits. And what I'll do is, as I put this through, I'm going to push it up towards the corner of this basket here. and then I'll do the same to the other side. So I'm just collecting a little bit and putting it through like this all the way to the other corner here. And then once I've done that, making sure that the corners are full, then I'll start just putting in more cotton here. I'll do that all the way until the head is filled. Now you don't want to make it too fudgy. Make sure you squish it down so it's not too full, but also you want it firm so that there's not a lot of airspace left behind. So as you can see, I'm just pushing that. It's nice and firm. I'll put in a little bit more. I usually just put in a little bit more than I usually would at this point, and the reason is because I still have one last round to go, and then this way I can squeeze the middle and it should bring the cotton up to the top of the head. So there we go. And now for my last round, I'm just going to do decreases all the way across. So if you see like this, I've already chained one, and now I'm going to go in my first stitch here and do a decrease. So that's, hold on, let me do it again. So here's 1, 2, pull my yarn through, pull through. So that's the first decrease. There should be 6 total. This is number 2, second decrease. This is number 3. 1, 2, oh, let's try that again. 1, 2, third decrease there, 4th decrease now, 5th decrease, 1, 2, oh, and last decrease right here, 1, 2, there we go. Alright, so that's 6 decreases, and now we're going to finish it off. So find that first single crochet. Oops, I hit the camera again. So this might be a little tricky because you've really got to get that first single crochet. So it should be right here. See if we can get into both loops here. There we go. Try not to get the cotton in that as well. So there, we're both in both those loops. Grab our yarn, pull through, and do our final slip stitch here. Although something seems a little bit off, and it might be because I put in my hook the wrong way. So let's just try that again. Put it through that first one. I'm in 2 loops there. Pull my yarn and pull it all the way in there. There we go. Now I can fasten it off. Just pull through, leave a bit of a tail here. Doesn't have to be too big. And then I'm going to cut it. And there we go. I'm going to tighten this. Okay, so now that we have finished our little baby Yoda, we are going to sew this here so that we can fasten this up or close the loop. So what we're going to do is insert this yarn into a needle like so. Once I've got my yarn through this needle, what I'm going to do is stitch it in the first loop of every stitch. So there should be 6. So here's the first one. So it's the front loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. And I'm going to just pull that nice and tightly, as you can see. And I just flatten it down so it doesn't look like a triangle. Remember, push the center here. And then I'm just going to weave in this yarn anywhere I like, just keeping it within the green sections. So just put it anywhere really. Just going back and forth here now. till the yarn is no longer visible. And if you've cut off too much yarn and you've already inserted it enough, like this, what I'm going to do is stretch it just a little, then I'll cut it and then just squish it down so that it's no longer visible. And then we'll also hide this piece of excess yarn here. So what I'll do as well is I will insert my needle right behind. So I'll just go into this hole here, and then I'll put my needle through, pull it out somewhere else, and then put in my yarn. Might twist it just a little bit so it's easier to pull through. There we go. And just pull that through and cut in the same way. Just pull it a little bit, cut it, and squish your yarn so that it's no longer visible. Alright, so now we have made the body of our little Yoda. Okay, so now we're going to start with our little baby Yoda ears. So all I'm going to do now is make a magic circle. And the way that we do this is I usually wrap it around my index finger on the left hand. So I'll just wrap it around once like this. I'll make a little X. I'll insert my hook in underneath the first string and then grab it and pull it through. Then what I'll do is grab the yarn and pull that through my little hole, and there we go. So I've just started my magic circle now. So what I'm going to do is stitch 6 single crochets. So here's the first one. It's number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to pull this circle nice and tightly like that, and then I'm going to connect this magic circle to my first stitch, and I'll do that with a slip stitch. So I'm just putting my hook underneath in this first section here, and then I will grab my yarn and do a slip stitch, pulling it through my last hoop. So there we go. Now I've got a magic circle here. Alright, in the second round, what I'm going to do is a single crochet, then increase, single crochet, then increase all the way around. And you can start as well with an increase first and then single crochet. And actually I might do that. So I've chained 1 and I'm going to increase right here. So this is my first chain or first stitch from my first round. So I'm going to single crochet into that first stitch twice. And then in my second stitch here, I'm going to do 1 single crochet. Then in my third, it's an increase, so that's 2 single crochets in that stitch. My fourth is just 1, fifth will be 2, 1, 2, and my sixth stitch is just finishing on 1, and then I will connect that with a slip stitch as well. So connecting that to the first stitch of my second round, pulling that through both loops. Okay, so there we have the second round. Now in the third and fourth round, we are going to just do single crochet all the way around, so we should have a total of 9 stitches. So this is my third round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and slip stitch that for round 3, like that. Chain 1, and as you can see it starts to curve, so I might pull it the other way now because this is the way that it needs to go, and it might be easier as well as knowing the stitches. Fourth row is just the same, single crochets all the way around. So we've already chained 1,
And now we'll start our round. So 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, slip stitch to finish off round 4. There we go. And now we'll start round 5. So round 5 is just 2 single crochets and then an increase, and repeat that pattern all the way around. So I've already chained 1 again. I'm just going to do my first single crochet, number 1, number 2, and then I'll increase now in this next stitch, which is once, twice. Now I'm going to repeat that pattern, single crochet once, single crochet twice, and increase. 1 increase, or 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, which is the increase. I'm going to also put in my little excess piece of yarn and just throw it in there. Then I'll keep repeating that pattern. So here's single crochet, and my last increase, 1, 2 stitches there. Finish it off with a slip stitch again, and starting round 6 is just single crochets all the way around, so we should have 12 stitches in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and finish off your round with a slip stitch. There we go. Alright, so we're pretty much done with the stitches here. We're just going to finish it off now. So what I'm going to do is chain 1, fold my ear, just like that, fold it from the side of the connection, or the seam here. Just fold it like so. Then I'm going to pass my hook through this first stitch here and come out the back. As you can see, I've gone through, let's get that, the back end as well as the front end. So I'm going to pull my yarn through and do a little single crochet there, and then you'll just work your way up along the line. So I've got it in there. So here's the second stitch, and there should be a total of 3. So that's 2, keep connecting, 3, 4, here's number 5, and then the last one, kind of just what I usually do. If there's not a complete back stitch to connect it to, I'll just come through this end here, and that's my last one, number 6. I'll just fasten it off, so I pull through the yarn and then leave a little bit of a tail so that I can sew it onto my Yoda's head. So there we go. So with the ears, you want to make 2 of these. It's exactly the same pattern. So that's the ears. So now we're ready. Bring in our little Yoda, and you'll see that as we try and sew these on, we want to have it on the sides like this. It's going to look like that. Alright, so let's start the sewing. What I'll do first is grab a needle. Any needle will do. This one is a little bit smaller in size, and it just makes it easier to sew through. But I can also use a bigger one like this if necessary. You don't want to go too small because then the yarn won't fit through the eye of the needle. Try to get that through. There we go. Alright, so now that I've got my yarn through the eye of the needle, I'm going to have a look and just basically put those ears on where I think they should go. So I want to start it around here. So you can see the top of the eye here. I don't really want, so I'll go to this stitch here, so this round here, so which is just one round above the eye. That will be as high as I go. And then I can start maybe, so if I have a look at this eye, and I work one back, and then I'll start one back from here. So here's one up and then one back, and I'll start my eye around here. I'm just having a look. There we go. So I'm going to pull this through now. And then I will sew in straight away, like so. So that's the first section done there. Now with the second, what I'm going to do is kind of move my needle back one. So I might either go here or here. I think I'll try here first. So I'm going back one. So I'll pull that through. And then pull it through my second chain here. You can do the sewing however you like. This is just one way in which I do it. Okay, then next I'm going to go directly back one, like so. So it just looks like it's further back. So I'll pull that through now. And then go through my third stitch. So I'm just going to come under here. Sometimes it's better working from the opposite direction. There we go, and you want to kind of fold it just so it looks neat. I'll go through this one here. Go through this next single crochet here. What I'm going to do now is bring it forward. I'm gonna line it up here. Just going through here. Oops. There we go. Pull it back. Go through my final stitch here. Just make sure I'm getting through both ends. Pull that and finish it off to align it with this end here. So what I'm going to do, since this is here, I'm going to align it right here. So I'm just going to pull this through now and work my needle back in through that same loop from the back end. And there we go. So I've got the first ear now connected to my little baby Yoda, and just to finish it off, I'll go in down the back. I'll bring it out anywhere in the back of the head and just basically weave in my yarn a few times so it's nice and secure. Once or twice should be enough, and just fold that ear like so. Then we're going to cut it off. Like that. There we go. So we have the first baby Yoda ear nicely sewn right there. Now we're going to do the second one. So again, twisting my yarn just so it can fit through the eye of the needle. Pull it through. And now we're going to sew this ear about here. So if I did my first ear, I went back one and then one here, so I want it lined up right here. So I'm just going to sew that one first. Sew it on and bring it back through my first single crochet here, right there. Pull that through like that. Next I'm going to go one behind, so about here is reasonable, I think. About right here. Put that through my second. There's my second loop right there. Nice. Then I'll just go maybe even in the same stitch. Don't want to put it too far back. So put it in the second loop there. And pull my needle through the third stitch of my ear. 1, 2, 3. Then I will go directly to the side once, just up a little bit. So I was here before, now I'm here. Going into my fourth stitch of my ear. Try to get that just now. So there we go, that's number 4. Pull that through, start to bend the ear. I want to move forward once. So actually what we can do is, if it started here, I'm going to move. Let's have a look. I've got 2 more stitches to get it through, so maybe I'll start from here first. Bring it through the 4th stitch right here. It's number 4. And then the last one, since I started here, I'm going to finish right about here. And bring it through that 5th. Sorry, that 6th stitch. As you can see right there. I'll just sew that in. And I'll go through the same area here now. Bring it to the back, just so it pulls a little bit and get that folded effect. Just fold it like so. Weave it in just a couple of times. Once, twice, should be enough. Cut the yarn, pulling it just a little bit. And there we go. So there we have our little baby Yoda with its side ears. And now we'll just add a keychain just to finish it off. So we've got our keychain here. I'm just looking for a link. Here we go. Here's the link. So what I'll do is I'll just connect it straight through the top. Nice and simple, just going through a stitch, or the side of a stitch. It can just be like that. You might want to secure it a little bit tighter by going through two ends, like so. Connect the chain. And then if you have a pair of pliers, which I don't have right now, you just squish this linker together. And then there you go. That will be your keychain. You can wrap it up, put a little bow on it, give it to a friend, and there you have it. So there is little baby Yoda.